Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld, and today we're going to take a look at the Black Ops 3 beta. I finally got around to downloading it and giving it a try yesterday, and so far I've actually been having a lot of fun with it. I'm not really a big COD fan, and to be honest, I didn't really have any idea what I was doing in most of these maps, but in general, I did have a good time, and it was pretty easy to jump into. If you are a COD fan though, well, I think you'll feel right at home with Black Ops 3 because pretty much everything you know and love about the franchise is back, along with a bunch of new features. That being said, I'm sure most of you guys who aren't COD fanboys are wondering, how much has the game actually changed? Well, not surprisingly, I think we all already know the answer to that question, which is sadly, not that much at all. Like I said, there's a bunch of new features like class abilities, swimming, and wall running, but in general, everything looks, sounds, and most importantly feels like every other COD game. And this makes sense from a marketing standpoint because this is what the fans expect, but I guess only time will tell whether or not Black Ops 3 is different enough to convince the rest of us. Now, there's a lot about Black Ops 3 so far that I love, and quite a few things that I hate, but I think the main thing that's improved from Advanced Warfare is the speed of the gameplay. Black Ops 3 seems to feel a little less chaotic than Advanced Warfare, and it's a lot easier to be tactical and use cover when your enemy isn't zooming around with exo movements. This new game still has fancy movements like double jumping and sliding, but it's all a lot slower than what we've come to expect from Advanced Warfare. It seems like the spawns in TDM are a bit better too, because you don't really get shot in the back as often in this game, which is a hell of a lot less frustrating. One thing that hasn't improved though is the trademark time to kill, which isn't helped by the laggy connection problems in the beta. You still have almost no chance to react to someone shooting you in the back, which becomes really obvious when you start going up against good players with top tier setups. Sniper rifles are once again pretty much a one-hit kill, and some of the new class weapons and abilities are also pretty overpowered. So far the balance of these weapons doesn't seem too bad though, so fingers crossed that it's just as good in the final release and none of these one-hit kill weapons end up breaking the game. Now, as always, one of the issues with a fast time to kill is camping, which is sadly back in Black Ops 3, but fortunately not to the extent that we've seen in previous games. The problem with Advanced Warfare in particular was that they added in a lot of verticality to go with the exo movement, and that just gave campers a lot of rooftops to camp on. The maps in the Black Ops 3 beta are multi-layered, but they can't really be exploited like they can be in Advanced Warfare. This means that there's a lot more satisfying head-to-head gunfights in Black Ops 3, and all in all this makes the game a lot less frustrating. As for the map design in general, well, it looks as though the devs have gone for a bit more variety in map size instead of just the standard close quarters maps. In the beta there's a large map called Hunted, a small 3-lane map called Combine, and 2 medium-sized maps called Evac and Stronghold. The only real problem with this is that the player cap doesn't change depending on the size of the map, which means that the small map tends to be a bit too chaotic and the big map tends to be a bit too slow. That being said though, it's really not a huge deal and all of the maps are fun for different reasons, which is definitely an improvement from the last few games in the series. Now, the loadout system is another core feature of COD games, and Black Ops 3 brings back the familiar Pick 10 system, which I love, along with level-based unlocks and the score streak system, which I hate. I know both of these are trademarks of the COD franchise, but as I've said in previous videos, I'm just not a big fan of giving rewards to good players. Multiplayer FPS games are unbalanced enough as it is, and I think one of the biggest problems with COD is that the losing team usually ends up getting stomped. Score streak abilities give a helping hand to good players who don't need any help, and as a result it makes it very hard for a losing team to turn a game around. Speaking of special abilities, well, like I said before, the exosuit from Advanced Warfare has now been replaced with class abilities and special weapons. When I say class though, I should point out that the class system in Black Ops 3 isn't quite like it is in BF4, and the only thing that's class specific is these special abilities. One of the main criticisms going around in the community at the moment is that a lot of these new abilities and the wall running mechanics seem to have been borrowed from other franchises. So yes, you will see a bit of Destiny, a bit of Titanfall, and a bit of Crysis in Black Ops 3, but I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing, and it doesn't make the new features any less fun. Now, last but not least, we can't forget about presentation and performance, which so far seems to be pretty much on par with Advanced Warfare. The graphics and sounds aren't particularly stunning when you compare it to other shooter franchises, but at least Black Ops 3 runs on console at 1080p 60 FPS. One thing that has been improved under the hood though is that the multiplayer now runs on dedicated servers, which should be much better when the game finally comes out. At the moment, there's a lot of lag issues in the beta, but that's to be expected, and I honestly think that networking in the final game will be the best we've seen in COD for a long time. I should point out though that this is only a beta, and anything could and most likely will change in the final release. The beta is also only available for PS4, so it's hard to tell whether or not the game will be better or worse on PC or the Xbox One. As far as betas go though, this one has been pretty fun, and I think it is safe to say it's convinced me to buy Black Ops 3 when it comes out later this year. At the end of the day though, even with all the new bells and whistles, Black Ops 3 is just another COD game, so if you're not a huge fan of the franchise, well, I can understand why you'd want to give this one a miss. But anyway guys, that just about wraps up this quick review, so let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always, if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description below if you want to see more of my videos, or if you'd like to support my channel on Patreon, and until next time, see you later, and have a good one.